In the previous video, we introduced some key item writing concepts and terms. You were also introduced to 6 recommended item types. In this video, we will take a closer look at the 6 recommended item types. We will discuss what makes each type unique, as well as some of the strengths and weaknesses of each type. Recall that the 6 recommended types are multiple choice, multiple select, matching, classification, order objects, and short answer. As a reminder, true-false items are not included on the recommended list because they are easy to guess and hard to write well. Here is an example of a typical multiple-choice item. It has one correct response option, indicated by an asterisk, and 3 distractors. It does not provide any additional given information. By definition, multiple-choice items have one and only one correct response option. Although having 3 distractors is most common, multiple-choice items can technically have any number of distractors. We recommend using between 2 and 4 distractors. Having only one distractor raises the guessing rate to 50%, and having more than 4 makes the item too long to be worth the test taker's effort. You've passed the point of diminishing returns after 4 distractors. A good rule of thumb when determining the number of distractors is to ask, how many plausible distractors can I make within the range of 2 to 4? A distractor that doesn't tempt the test taker is worthless. The guessing rate is the expected percentage of correct guesses by test takers who do not know the answer. For a typical multiple-choice item, with 1 correct response option and 3 plausible distractors, the guessing rate is only 25%. This is sufficient for most scoring parameters. Another benefit of multiple-choice items is that they can allow test takers to use partial knowledge. Test takers can eliminate response options they know are wrong, or take educated guesses. In this way, the test taker can still benefit from the knowledge they do have. Here's a silly example of a multiple-choice item with a given scenario. Short scenarios work well with multiple-choice items. Longer scenarios are most appropriate when used with several items about the same scenario, rather than only one item. However, scenarios are not exclusive to multiple-choice items. Scenarios are an opportunity for test takers to demonstrate their knowledge in a novel way. Instead of basic recall, scenarios allow the application of knowledge. Multiple select items are very similar to multiple-choice items, except that the test taker selects more than one correct response. Typically, there are 2 to 3 correct responses and 2 to 3 incorrect responses. There is no reason to bombard test takers with too many options. Doing so increases cognitive load and the possibility of confusion or testing fatigue. If possible, it is recommended that the item be worth 1 or 0 points, without providing partial credit. A concern with multiple select items is that the guessing rate and scoring is actually more complicated than it appears. Avoid using this item type, except when it makes more sense to ask for 2 or 3 options instead of only 1. Multiple select items are good when you want to get a few closely related concepts together in one item. Matching items can be a quick and easy way to test a number of closely related facts, such as definitions or characteristics. These can serve as an alternative to using several items with only one plausible distractor. Use a matching item in place of several multiple-choice items when you want to spend less total test time and award fewer points for the specific learning outcome being measured. Matching items are especially useful when reviewing lower-level information, such as dates or definition of terms. Matching items take more time and are worth less for the test taker's effort, so use them with caution. It is recommended not to provide partial credit, if possible. Matching items are most effective when 1 or more distractors are included to prevent using the process of elimination. Notice that matching items typically have more response options than stems. Classification items are very similar to matching items. They have instructions, stems, and response options. Classification items are good for measuring the differentiation of two or more conditions. A key difference between classification items and matching items is that classification items typically do not have distractors, and the response options can be used more than once. The order object's item type is also similar to matching, but the emphasis is on sequencing the stems into the correct order. In this example, the test taker is required to place the historical events in chronological order from first to last. This item type is especially useful for ordering steps in a process, sorting quantities, and sequencing events. Only use this item type when the relationship of the steps, events, or amounts is what the test taker truly needs to know. The short answer item type, also known as supply type, requires the test taker to actually type the answer, or in a paper and pencil exam, physically write the answer. The biggest advantage with this item type is that the guessing rate is drastically reduced, though not entirely eliminated. A common myth is that if the test taker is required to provide the answer, the guessing rate is 0. However, it is still possible to guess. For example, picture a short answer item that asks the test taker to provide the capital of Spain. The test taker may not actually know the answer, but if the test taker is familiar with a few cities in Spain, they can guess from among those. A disadvantage of this item type is that the item must be very clear for students to provide the correct response. Any ambiguity can cause the test taker to get the item wrong, even if they know the content. This is a potential measurement error. Another risk is that test takers can also provide incorrect spellings, or even correct responses that the item writer did not anticipate. Unless the learning outcome being measured is correctly spell common words, these items are not meant to be spelling tests. Short answer items can be useful, but it is recommended to use them when the answer is short and precise, especially simple numeric values. Provide additional instructions about the format if possible, such as truncate the response to 2 decimal places. If you are using the quiz feature in Canvas, allow for alternate spellings and acceptable variations, if possible. After the test, graders may need to manually review incorrect responses to short answer items and revise scores as needed.